Hey everybody, welcome to some more Entropia content. Man, have I got some news and action today. There was some huge news on Monria. Can't believe there was reports today that they sold the moon for over 1 million ped. I was like, holy shit, that was quite the sale. Sorry, I'm just a little bit out of breath. This morning I finally had some cooler weather and started to get some energy in the morning again. So I was getting my early morning workout in. But I was logging into the game and I checked and I was like, holy shit, I forgot. I put a whole bunch of stuff on auction before I left for Next Island. So I think maybe today's plan, I've been spending too much time on Next Island. I really got to take all these things I've been crafting and prints and go bring them to my shops. Because my shops need some of the mankinis. Everyone's asking, I want to buy mankini at your shop and there's none in there. I'm like, well, still on Next Island. So that's what my plan is. I guess I'll check today and see what we got, what sold on the auction. Hey, Doc applied to my society. Buddy Doc Kino. Alright, welcome, bud. Got a new society member. To be honest, I haven't been doing much with the society since they removed the society terminals. I haven't really figured all that shit out yet. Alright, my lamp attachment did not sell. Son of a bitch! Alright, my Lux Deed print did sell, and I should be honest with you guys, this one is a trade terminal blueprint from Rocktropia. A lot of people don't know where to buy it on Rocktropia, so when I put them on auction, they're still selling like hotcakes. So I kind of feel bad about putting this print on auction because it's a trade terminal print, but if people are going to keep buying it, it's kind of hard not to. I don't know, when I first got new into Entropia, I realized that there's a lot of people that buy stuff at auction so randomly that you can just even put trade terminal stuff in there and they'll buy it. But it's not very nice to do. Like usually after someone buys a trade terminal print off me from auction, I'll follow their name in the chat and be like, hey man, if you want another copy, just pick it up from the trade terminal. It's cheaper. Now, Ava Rump Smith, I think she places a lot of bulk bids on everything, so I appreciate you placing bids, Ava. If you're watching. Holy, my Australia print sold. I put a low minimum and a high buyout. It was a kick-ass fucking print. I can't believe no one paid more for it. Man, if I was getting into crafting flags, I would go with that one. Alright, the Romanian flag sold. And we had quite a few bidders, so when I swing by in Calypso, I'll probably put another one of these for sale because I must have like 100 of them. Holy shit, the Dutch flag sold too. The flags are starting to increase in sales. I should have put a higher minimum. I was kind of hoping to get a few bids. Holy, even the Polish flag is selling. Alright, you know what that means. I gotta swing by Calypso and put a few things for sale. I can't believe all those auction things sold and my account went up so much. I thought I was really low on ped yesterday. And I still got the highest bid going on the Tiger's Eye. But I'll swing by and check the auction just to make sure I don't got any more that I could pick up for cheap. Tiger! Alright, nothing here really that cheap. But yeah, I was going to check Ancient Greece. Yeah, it's really expensive right now. Alright. Alright, I'm back. Sorry to disappear there for a second. Well, I guess I didn't really disappear for you guys. I just figured out where the pause button was. Now, I'm so used to doing live streams, I never bothered looking for a pause button, but when you're doing local recordings, hell, you can pause it. It's fucking sick. Alright, so before I leave this planet, maybe what I'll do is... hard to decide. Should I run through the rest of my prints? I got 7 clicks with the bikini, or mankini, but I want some Rinoa bikinis. Yeah, so I was thinking I should try a few of those. But I also wouldn't mind to make some more Lesser Elijah. Yeah, let's start off with a little bit of Lesser Elijah. Now, I was going over yesterday's recording, and I noticed I jumped into a whole bunch of topics and never really finished any of them. So maybe today's video I'll talk about it a bit. What I really wanted to get into is the cannabis talk. I think I started to mention the Dr. Hamburger and his sleep study experiments with cannabis. Ooh. On today's menu I got the same thing, the Pure Sun Farms sativa and a little bit of drips of cannabis oil to spike the bowl. Woo. Now, to be honest, this weed is so good, it really doesn't need spiking, but I just raised my tolerance so high and I have lots of cannabis oil right now, so I figure why not. Now, for anyone who's been into using concentrates before, like shatter and doing dabs and all that stuff, it becomes more obvious. But THC or something in cannabis, which I'm pretty sure isn't THC from some of my own experiments, but I'm pretty sure one of the chemicals in cannabis is actually a dream suppressant. And the researchers noticed this, the cannabis users compared to non-cannabis users, or even the same test subjects on and not on cannabis, it was drastically affecting REM sleep, like the stage where you dream. So the scientists are like, holy shit, like what's causing all this fucking sleep deprivation on weed? But then they started to research the reverse effects, and they found out that when people stop smoking cannabis, they get way more intense dreams, and they called it the rebounding effect. And it's not something exclusive to cannabis, but it's also found in sleeping pill users. Apparently, people that take heavy doses of sleeping pills their whole life start to eventually suppress their dreams. And then once they stop taking the sleeping pills, boom, they get the rebounding effect, where all of a sudden their body chemistry has been fighting the dream suppressants for so long that when it does get a chance to dream, it just floods the dreams because it's not used to not having the suppressant there. So it makes more of the reaction to create dreams. I think that's how it works. I wish Dr. Hamburger posted most of his research, but he was very vague. It was just a study by Vice. Or not a study by Vice, but Vice writing the results on a study, I think. Or reporting the results of a study. That's it. Yeah, so I started to get into experimenting a little bit with dreams and cannabis because my family, like my, my grandma on my mom's side of the family is from Eastern Europe, and she was like one of those dream psychic people, even sentenced to death for doing it. But she managed to escape and come to Canada, and that's how I'm here. But anyways, yeah, so she was really into the dream stuff. She died really young. Pretty much, I can't remember how old I would have been. Maybe around 10 or something. But yeah, anyways, so I get really into the dreaming stuff, and then I started to notice too that cannabis was suppressing my dreams. And then Dr. Hamburger's study where it says if you stop smoking and you'll get hit bad, and holy shit did I get hit bad. It's like normally, like when I dream, I can dream a fair bit even with still using cannabis, but when I stop using it, it's like, holy shit, do my dreams ever get flooded? And people wonder, like, what do you mean by flooded dreams? It's like normally when you go to sleep, you sort of get a feeling of, hey, I rested for a while, then I dreamt a little, then I rested for a while, and then I woke up. Well, when you're heavy dreaming, it's like you close your eyes when you're falling asleep and you're instantly into the dream. And you're like, holy shit, it's like no time to rest in between. and then the dream will end the second you wake up. So it's like you almost get no in-between sleep, which is actually extremely exhausting. I was surprised how exhausting it is. I got a blueprint, but it wasn't good. It was just another curtain one. Holy shit, did I get 8 pet out of it? Fuck, that wasn't so bad. Too bad I didn't have the meter boosted for that one, eh? That would have been a fucking global. Yeah, so when I started to experiment with the chemistry and dreams and cannabis, there was an experiment that I did haphazardly. I didn't anticipate doing it, where I might have made somewhat of a similar breakthrough. Should pass it on to Dr. Hamburger. No, it was like I vaporize cannabis oil that my vaporizer makes. I call it vapor oil because it's literally taking vapors, well, it doesn't condense them, it just collects normally on the sides. Hence, it's not a distiller. But yeah, so it just collects on the side, and then it eventually fills up a tank. I don't know if anyone can see it. Right now, this bottom layer here is just all vapor oil that's collected. And I got, I don't know, maybe a gram or so that's collected in there. And then eventually this tank will keep filling and filling until it's so full that I can use the vapor oil as bong water. But it only works as bong water once I turn on the heating fan, because at room temperature it's a thick oil, but at once it heats up a little, it turns to liquid, like water, the viscosity of regular water. Yeah, so one of the experiments I did by accident is I ran out of cannabis. But I still had the cannabis vapor oil. So for a week, I'm like, ah shit, I'm out of cannabis, and I don't only have the vapor oil. So I'm like, ah shit, I'll just smoke vapor oil for a week or two until I get more cannabis. Holy shit, you wouldn't believe the results from that experiment. Yeah, so what happened is I ran out of cannabis, started getting the dream rebounding. I'm like, holy fuck, this sucks, can't sleep at all. I just dreamed the whole night. And then what happened is the next day I'm still out of weed, so I start smoking some vapor oil. I'm like, oh, thank God, when I smoke this vapor oil, that'll kiss my dreams back gone to normal levels where I can finally sleep again at night. And lo and behold, when I was vaporizing the cannabis oil, I was still getting baked all day, but it didn't stop the dreams. So I was like, holy shit, there's still a way that you can smoke cannabis, this pure oil, and keep the dream rebounding going as if you're not smoking cannabis. So I was thinking, like, really, does that prove that whatever the chemical is that's affecting the dreams is somehow removed during the stage when I create vapor oil? So I'll have to look more into that. I'm not really too sure. I'm not exactly a scientist myself. I just do amateur stuff. Yeah, and another effect I noticed too from weed is it drastically affects my voice. Like, I know some people when they get a buzz or something, their voice might change a little bit. For me, it changes my voice so much, I have to be very careful to articulate my words because I'll start mumbling too much naturally, just from being baked. So yeah, when I was doing the vapor oil experiment, I found out that whatever another blueprint. Another shitty one. Some more curtains. Now, so I'm wondering, maybe every time you land on Next Island, you're in the pool to get one of the bikini prints. But until you leave again, you're not in that pool. You already got your share. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know the theories on the loot pool, what everyone's got, their own theories, but sometimes I get pretty conspiratorial about what's going on with this loot. What's going on, man? No, so I'd like to continue doing cannabis research one day. I know a lot of the users, or not users, well, probably users, but a lot of the viewers in my chat videos have been saying that some of them are even watching just because they like the cannabis invention. And I'll probably do an episode just on it. I did have a whole channel built for it to run a business through, but the whole business plan sort of fell through after some product testing. Basically, my vaporizer works too good, and I'm likely to get sued from releasing it. And really, if I don't need the money for selling it, there's almost no point in me releasing it because it's only putting me at risk for going to jail. Which kind of sucks. Because really, not to brag or anything, but if this invention did go like viral, I could probably make a living off of it. But safety first, man. Maybe what I should do is move to a country that doesn't have very strict laws. Start selling it there. No, it's kind of must be like the guy who invented fentanyl, right? Chinese guy, maybe. Now, I heard China's the leading producer of fentanyl. They ship it across the Pacific, and then they get it into Vancouver because the Chinese triad gangs apparently have infiltrated Canadian port security to the point where over 30% of the guards are working for triads directly from China. And they said the funniest part too is that a lot of these Chinese triads that are working in security in the port authorities in Canada aren't even under real names. They get fake fucking IDs shipped from China. So you get all these fake people that aren't even really who they say they are, shipping in fucking tons of fentanyl. It's weird too. You think the Canadian government would be like, hey, is this an act of war? Like fucking China is shipping over fucking tons of drugs that are killing our population by the millions? I don't know, I want to get too conspiratorial, but nah, I would post all the links for that stuff, but I don't want to get my channel into too much bad news. I don't even remember how I got into discussing China. Like, to be honest, I love the Chinese culture. If I had to pick one place to live in the whole world, it'd probably be China. Just because I love fucking everything about their culture. Like, a lot of the sports and stuff they do, I like love. Like martial arts, different stuff like that. Tai Chi. Not Tai Chi, Qigong. Yeah, and I like the whole Kung Fu, the monks. So much of the Chinese culture. Oh, the food, for God's sakes, how could I forget the food? No, but there is like always like a good and bad side to things. I should have known, like, I had heard about Tibet before, and I was like, hey, that whole China and Tibet situation, whatever happened with that? It's like, did Tibet all of a sudden get freed and the Chinese government turn nice? And I was like, no. Apparently they're doing the same thing to Hong Kong that they were doing to Tibet. So I'm like, holy shit. But anyways, yeah. Some of my friends and family are from China and stuff too. My brother has been to China and took some amazing pictures. God, some of the places that you can go to China when you travel with someone from China, not like just going on tourist things. Maybe I'll try to get some of his photos posted. Hey, what happened? How come my crafting run stopped? Oh, I see why. Because I used up all my regular clicks. Everything else was just from a bonus. And I think what it is, I'm a little bit low on either Listeria or Sweat. And then once I get a near miss, I get some extra. So it's giving me some more clicks to do. Because I'll all of a sudden have more ingredients. Now in this whole world situation with all different countries fighting, like I do the ancient mystery research and there was a lot of prophecies that said this was going to happen. So it's really no surprise to me. Well, I shouldn't say no surprise. To be honest, in a lot of the conspiracy research I was doing, I was always thinking of it as like Santa Claus. It's like it's fun to research Santa Claus and all of his stories, but is he really real? It's like how many people would really consider that even though they still like Santa Claus, right? So that's kind of how I was like with conspiracies and paranormal stuff even in general. It's like I liked researching it, but the odds of me thinking it was true was like 1%, not even. So one of the ancient prophecies came and said that everything was going to be the opposite before the golden age becomes. I was like, everything? It's like, how could everything become the opposite? It's like, what? Are people going to march up and down the street saying, let all the criminals out of jail and take away the police during the peak of crime? No, that's why it's kind of difficult and easier at the same time when I'm watching the world news lately. It's like I see everything turning to the opposite, and I'm like, holy shit, the opposite really is coming, or happening. Although it's still kind of hard to believe, too, that we're right on the verge of a golden age. But with that new Beavis and Butthead movie or not movie, show coming back. I was like, maybe this is the golden age. Now, I kind of fear the golden age more than the catastrophe before it. Because they always say the catastrophes are what make you stronger. When the golden age starts, that's when everyone gets weak. So maybe that will be the biggest challenge of our lives yet, to face the golden age. The deadly age where all we have to do is sit around and watch TV. Like, no! And I can't believe how many people are into the idea of sitting around watching TV. I used to do it a little bit when I was a kid, but I was always deprived of TV. Like in our household, you were only allowed to watch a few minutes a day. Maybe like an hour on the weekend we were allowed. And all other times our parents would force us to go outside and play. And you had to play from like the second you woke up till like when you went to bed. I don't know if it was part of the whole parenting strategy back in the day, before there was a lot of TV. Yeah, maybe that's what happened with parenting, eh? When parents weren't allowed to like just ditch their kids outside and be like, okay kids, come back when it's time for bed. That's when like parents are like, oh, we gotta find somewhere else we can ditch them that's safe, so they put them in front of the TV. But I was thinking like, which was really the safest option there, right? Like, forcing your kids to go outside, sure you're at risk of getting like kidnapped and stuff, but the odds of what's gonna happen if you sit around watching TV, like what are the odds of becoming like dependent on TV and like being crippled by it compared to the odds of being kidnapped, right? Pretty sure the kidnapping is way more rare. Like 99% rare. Let's hope. You know, I was watching the news yesterday and there was like an NFL player talking about all the protests, and he was even saying the same thing that I like to say. It's like one of the best sayings. It's like the good intentions one. He's like, yeah, a lot of these protests and stuff have good intentions, but he's like, are they paving the road to hell? I was like, yeah! No, because that's been like the story of my life. A lot of times I always try to do the right thing. A lot of times it backfires and fucks up. It's like some of the worst cases I don't even want to save. It's like, God. You gotta think, if I won't say it, it's gotta be pretty fucking bad. That's like the whole pandemic situation. It's like every time I hear people saying wear a mask, lockdown, I'm like, they're good people. They're just doing what's the best intentions. I'm like, oh fuck those good intentions again, right? So it's like I don't really want to hate on people that have good intentions. Like, don't you want everyone to have good intentions? And hey, like, there's still a chance that all these good intentions could be right, right? Like, I don't know. The whole herd immunity debate is pretty intense. It's like all the good intentions are pointing towards one direction of this debate, which kind of makes me go, oh fuck. Man, it brings me back to like the oldest form of fucking birth control that's like built into the universe itself. I never realized it. Unlike in our current society, we always have birth control when it comes to like condoms or different types of contraception. I was like, dear God, how in the olden days did they manage to do this, right? Like, you didn't want to be raising like 30 kids, so like how the fuck would shit go down, right? Then I started to talk to my grandpa about it, and I was like, holy shit, in the olden days, people were dying off like flies, right? Now, he was telling me stories about, well, his his schools in North America, like when he was a kid in elementary school, he lived out in the farmers community, and I guess not even just farmers accidents were killing kids, but it was like disease. Like he didn't have, what was it, antibiotics and all that shit. So he's like, you got an infection, there's chances more than likely you're gonna die. Not to laugh because it's funny, I'm laughing to relieve stress. Oh yeah, that was the other thing I wanted to try. We'll do a couple more clicks of this Listerium shit. I don't want to go ridiculous on this. A couple successes would be nice. That wasn't too bad. The cactus is yellow. Imagine full will be approximately 6 ped if I land on it, maybe. Only 2. My prediction was well off that time. Alright, let's try this. The markup for this bikini is a little bit low right now. Sons of bitches. Like, why are you guys keep selling everything so low? I know, you're just trying to help the buyers. Alright, so you can see that the Rinoa Bikini requires the tiger eye. And then the Lesser Elijah, the wool, and the fluorite crystal. Fluorite. Sounds a little bit too much like fluoride to me. Now, I'm not really even against fluoride. Someone was telling me a funny story about Alex Jones, how he likes to go on about how he hates fluoride and he tells everyone not to use fluoride. But it turns out his dad is a dentist and he has sales on fluoride. So yeah, makes you wonder. No, I agree with the researcher, you don't want to drink fluoride. It's like actually not good to ingest it. But then the theory is they put such small amounts in it that we can still process it out. Alright, let's try this bikini. I don't want to get into my videos about just chasing globals. I notice a lot of YouTubers and Twitch people, they chase globals a lot, and it kind of implies that everyone to Entropia, like, hey, this game's all about chasing globals. So really in my channel, what I want to try to show a little bit more is that there's a huge community of Entropians that even if you have no ped, it's fun to interact with them. And there's so many different ways you can in the game. It's ridiculous. Like, even if you're not sweating, people are like, oh, the only thing you can do in Entropia is either chase globals or sweat. And there's a lot in between. Oh god, I hope I can get at least one. Now I'm just opening up another window right now. So I'm going to get a little bit of lag. Now what I'm doing is I was going to hopefully start recommending a whole bunch of other Entropians websites, or not websites, fuck, YouTube pages. And I was like, Jesus, I should really be saying these right. Now what I was thinking of doing is maybe in the bottom link of my video, I'll start putting a list of everyone who's a YouTuber and an Entropian and who wants to promote their content, and I'll just put it in the bottom list. And then I'll copy and paste it over time. Not copy and paste it, I mean update it. And copy and paste it to every video. There it is. Yeah, so if you want to check out, excuse me, Who is it? Geez, there's so many people here with similar names. Maybe I'll put in something different here. 1 second. Now, wish me luck with these bikini prints, too. Hopefully we can get a global. I just said I didn't want to chase globals. So it better be a Hall of Fame. No globals allowed. And, Entropia. Oh yeah, Serial Overdrive. I was gonna say his name wrong. Yeah, and then Raven Jade, Yoshi. Can't remember if Yoshi has a regular YouTube channel. I think she does some political stuff, but I was really hoping she would do some Entropia videos too. Yeah, and there was some pretty cool videos from the Entropia Universe official channel. I might cover some of those a bit in my channel. Hey, some of my videos are starting to come out. I made it to the top 20? No, still not. But my How to Own a Shop video is doing good. That's pretty good. Yeah, so that's what I was going to do. I was planning to bring all these bikinis back to Rocktropia. I'll swing by Raven Jade shop. Hopefully I can meet up with her at one point. Then yeah, I'll bring some of those clothes. Now I was thinking of hooking her up with her choice of either a mankini or a bikini for free, just for promoting my channel. If anyone else wants to promote my channel too, on their channel, maybe a Serial Overdrive, I'll see if I can hook him up with one. I don't know if I'll give him the mankini though. That's a little creepy. It's like I was okay with giving Bonnie a mankini because I was like, maybe she'll get her husband to wear it, not ask me to wear it. That'd be disgusting. No, I really don't want to wear the mankini. I accidentally equipped one. I noticed I equipped one, but I'm wearing clothes over it, thank God. So as long as I don't strip down naked, no one can see my mankini. Okay, I think I'm going to give this craft a try. Hopefully I can just get one and avoid the globals. No more chasing globals on this channel. As I say that, I'll turn on the globals. It's like, I swear, I'm never hypocritical. Ever. Now, some days I wonder if I did do hypocritical things, would I do anything? Oh, I got some tiger. Near success sucks balls. Not in a good way. Yeah! Got one. Hopefully I can get two so I can put one in my shop after I give one away. Yes! Got two. Whew. Alright, so no globals. Nice work. Alright, so I got two. I'll bring a bikini, and my plan is, actually, let's see here. I have to make the decision. I don't know, when Entropia players, when you face this decision, what do? It's like I got the rest of my materials to continue crafting. Let's see. So if I check, I still have 287 of the fluorite crystals. And I still have some tiger's eye, some lesser Elijah and wool. So a lot of times you face the question when you go to leave a planet mid-crafting run, should I leave the materials here or place them on auction, and then if no one buys them, then I can just use the auction terminal to transport them to my storage for 2 ped. Now it does kind of seem like a waste to pay that to move your stuff, but it really depends on how much you have. I'm pretty sure in this situation, the amount of materials that I have left, it's not worth it. So I might as well just go to Rocktropia and reorder the stuff and have it shipped and buy it from other people. Yeah, no one's bought my metal residue at my Camp Crunk shop yet. Come on, guys. Now I'm thinking I'm going to be a little bit low on the ped department until I can start to resell some of my stuff, especially the metal residue. Oh yeah, I forgot, I got the global here on Next Island, so I'll have to sell the metal residue before I leave. Hey, do you guys want to see my trick for selling metal residue? Wouldn't really call it so much a trick, but more of a strategy on how to make back some of your ped if you have losses, or if you just want to add extra ped to your winnings. Alright, so here's the deal. You're on a rare planet like Next Island, Cyrene, Tulan, and you've done some crafting, and you've been fishing for the blueprints. So you've been using Lesser Elijah, and you've crafted a bunch on a planet. Now you have all this metal residue in storage. I've heard some people take it risky, and they just bring it with them in space back to their next planet, but pirates could loot it. Then other people, they might just take it and put it for sale on auction cheap, hoping to unload it. So what I do is I put my metal residue on auction on rare planets. Hey, 2 ped of shrapnel. Yeah, so what I'm going to plan on doing is I'll take that metal residue. Yeah, this plan is a little bit sketchy. I'll give it that. Oh yeah, here are some of the rocks and stones I was picking up. Wasn't I just cursing in the other video that I hadn't picked up any rocks or stones? Then I started paying more attention to the ground and found it all over the place. No, that happened one of the most fucked up stories. Maybe I'll try to get him on the show so that he can verify that this story is true. Now, as my friend Milhouse, or Mike, everyone used to call him Milhouse because he looked just like Milhouse from The Simpsons. Except more of like a partying fucking acid dropping Milhouse. So anyways, I was partying with Milhouse, and we go walking out into the woods. What we like to do is like do hallucinogens, only the legal kinds, and no, I swear I didn't do the hallucinogens on purpose. I was spiked every time. Can you tell when I'm lying? I swear I'm not lying. No, so anyways, we would go on walks because we're like, hey, every time you get really wasted, a lot of times you just don't want to sit around and talk. You're like, hey, let's go outside and walk around and shit. We're not in shit, in the woods. Yeah, because we realized that when you walk around in the woods, if you don't bring flashlights, it's like really trippy. Like you can hallucinate better. Your imagination just runs wild, right? But everyone wasn't really cool at this plan. Some people wanted to just get wasted and fucking sit around and do nothing. Which is a pretty big temptation, right? So anyways, we get into the woods, and Milhouse starts to bitch. He's like, fuck you guys, why don't you just want to sit around and do nothing? He's like, I hate all this walking around. And we're like, Milhouse, it's like, we gotta go outside and walk around and do shit. It's like, what amazing adventures can we find out here? And he's like, there's no amazing adventures. And I'm like, you just gotta make adventures, man. You can find them everywhere. He's like, how are you gonna find an adventure somewhere? I'm like, well, we're out of cigarettes. So I'm like, the adventure will be finding a pack of cigarettes that has some on the ground. And Milhouse is like, that's the stupidest adventure I've ever heard. So I'm like, you just wait, Milhouse, right? And then the funniest thing, like, I swear it was like even like 30 seconds later, we're like, hey, look, over there, there's a pack on the ground. let's go check and see if there's any cigarettes in Millhouse, right? So Millhouse is like, there's no way there's gonna be any smokes in there. So I fucking pick up the pack, and fuck, lo and behold, you guys never believe this. But first I'll do a quick message from our sponsor. Today's show was brought to you by Crack! Crack! It'll fuck you up. Right, so I even got Millhouse to fucking pick up the pack. I'm like, Millhouse, pick it up. Look what's in it, right? And he picks it up. It's a fucking goddamn full pack of cigarettes, except for one thing. You know what that thing was? There was a few cigarettes missing out of one side, just enough to fit a fucking full lighter. I was like, what are the fucking odds that there was a pack of cigarettes on the ground with even one in it, let alone a full pack with a lighter? Like, there you go, Millhouse, there's our fucking adventure. You know, it's like, man, how can you even believe that story? I'm gonna have to get Millhouse on. He couldn't believe it either. He's like, someone had to fucking hide this pack here. There's no way. But to be fair, that isn't actually that impossible, because really that isn't even the only time that happened. One time we were hitchhiking to a fucking beach. God. Yeah, that beach hitchhiking story was intense. Before I do that, let's show you the trick for the auction. Before I get on another ramble. Alright, so what I realized is a few times when I was on remote planets, I was going to sell my metal residue, and I'm like, oh, I'll just put it for cheap. But then when I found out is there's a couple crafters that are usually, or not crafters, miners. And they'll be going around to different rare planets to mine it, and they'll fucking run out of metal residue. They'll be like, ah shit, now I gotta import some from Cali, have to pay the auction fees, all the delivery fees. So what you can do is take all those fees in mind, go to rare planets and fucking mark up your metal residue. So sometimes I do it crazy. Like, I'll put it up to like 105, even 110% a few times I put up, and it's sold. And usually how it goes is the miner will be like, oh, there's some metal residue, I'll put a bid. And then they put a bid and they realize, oh, fuck, the bio bid was like 107 or 110. Then they're sitting there weighing the options. Should I just order more metal residue from Calypso, or just pay the couple ped extra markup to this guy who I've already placed a bid on auction? Usually a couple days goes by, he gets tired of waiting, and then he'll just pay the rest. I was like, sick. So I don't know, it's kind of a little bit sketchy plan. Like, this could backfire, no one will place a bid, and you'll be stuck with the metal residue on another planet. But I find like 9 times out of 10, it usually sells. And what you do too is you just put no intro bid. So someone can pick it up for next to nothing. But the chances of them getting it for next to nothing are going to be low if they compete with other people that are looking for metal residue on a planet that's rare and they don't want to pay shipping. So another way to do this strategy is you can scope the market on this planet. Be like, hey, let's check out how much other metal residue there is. So you can see another guy's already doing this plan. He's got some booked up to 120% markup. But his plan is failing. Looks like there's only 1 day left and he hasn't got any bites yet. But really, when you're doing this plan, you only have to get like maybe 2 or 3 bites in a row, and you can endure quite a few fails without losing ped. Yeah, so that's one of my tricks to selling the metal residue when you're on other planets. We'll see if my trick works. Since I'm doing daily videos now, eventually this will sell or won't sell, and we'll see if my trick worked. I think 240 is pushing it. $235. That sounded about good. And you can see the price for metal residue is pretty damn low, so technically it shouldn't sell this high. But really, if someone comes by and like, oh, I'll just place a little bid. Next thing you know, they're waiting a few days, like, holy fuck, I got hundreds of ped. It's all waiting on this guy's bid. And he's like, oh fuck, I want to go mining right now. I'll just go get it. I bet you how many people are listening, they're like, oh shit, that was me. Alright, so does 107 sound ridiculous? We'll see if it can sell for that high. I don't know, that's quite a bit of markup though. Like look, this item's only worth 220. And that would bring me up to 235. So that'd be what, 15 ped in profit just from the metal residue? Like that could really help out a crafting run if you can make an extra 15 ped just from something that's worth nothing usually. I know some people even trade terminal it. No, I knew this one guy who would just buy like shit that people would trade terminal and then he would resell it. He was making a fortune. Alright, no reserve bid, so auction fee of oh. Yeah, what the hell, I didn't want a reserve bid. Yeah, have you ever taken the reserve bid and put it into the negatives? So technically someone could buy your thing and you would lose money right off the bat? Alright, so we'll put the first bid at 220, keep the auction fee down to 50 pec. And this will be a gamble. We'll see if it pays off or if I lose. It's how I roll. And they're warning me, are you sure you want to do this? This is not a good plan. Alright, so there's my sketch metal residue. We'll see if anyone buys it. You can see the guy above me, he only put it to 102%. It's really kind of just bought his and added it to mine. You wouldn't believe how many times I've done that. I like see someone put something on auction for a really low price. I'm like, God, that's so low, I'm just going to buy it and resell it. And I do and make like 100 ped. Especially if it's rare items. I don't know what it's with. Like some people really price rare items low. I don't know why. Maybe it's a noob thing. You're like, oh, or maybe a fast sale. You're like, oh, I just want to sell it fast. So I'll put it really cheap. That I've done that before. Like when I wanted to buy something that I needed ped immediately, I'm like, I'll just fucking drastically cut prices. Especially if it's something you're going to make a huge profit from, because then you start weighing those profits you'll make from the sale against the losses you make for selling the other shit quickly. And if it's way in favor of selling it, you're like, holy shit, let's just sell it at a loss here and make a giant profit over there. Alright, this one I won't get too crazy. Now this is such a small stack that you actually have to increase the trade terminal or markup substantially. So I don't really think it's worth selling it. No, I really doubt someone's going to buy. Well, this guy's convinced that someone's going to buy it for 120. So if he's so convinced that they're going to buy it at 120, I'll undercut him by 3%. Should I? Seems like a shame, because really I'm only going to make, what, 2 ped after the auction fees? Well, let's just do it. Don't want to spend all day. Only got about 10 minutes of the show left. Yeah, and for everyone who was hoping to hook up with me on Next Island, don't worry. I doubt I'll be gone from Next Island that long. Once I check out the new blueprints that have been added to Next Island, I might come back on a big fishing run, maybe even do some vehicle crafting, give you guys a glimpse of how I do that. And I've been a little bit hesitant to share my vehicle crafting runs, because they are the most profitable of everything I do. And sharing it with everyone should take a big chunk out of my profits. But you guys are such a nice community, and everyone's watching my videos and being so positive. I kind of feel like I owe everyone. What's the point of hiding all the crafting secrets forever? Alright, storage. Hey, maybe we can do that as a challenge. Anyone want to come on to be a guest and share their biggest Entropian secrets? Normally when you get a secret in Entropia that helps you make a lot of ped, you usually don't want to tell a whole bunch of people. So that's why I think a lot of the best secrets in Entropia, a lot of people don't know about. Yeah, I still have these time travel crystals. Now the next island, you can't time travel anymore. I wonder what's going to happen to them. Hasn't been many sales lately, that's for sure. Hopefully there's a few blueprints that still require time travel crystals so they won't become obsolete. I used to buy time travel crystals off the auction. Yeah, I loaded up the vehicle prints when I was here. See what I mean? By back in the day, I used to buy a lot of trade terminal prints, resell them. You know, it's crazy. Like, people mock the trade terminal reselling. It is a horrible thing to do. Like, one of the worst horrible trade terminal resells I ever did. God, I feel ashamed for even telling this story. Is I went on a run to a planet. I guess I'll name the planet. It was Rocktropia. And then I'm like, man, I'm going to go there and try to see how much profits I can make. And then go back to Calypso. So I land on Rocktropia and I did some sweating. I'm like, oh, that was pretty good. Sweating on Rocktropia, you can just rake it in. And then I picked up some oil at the rig. I'm like, yeah, that was pretty sick. Raked in some decent oil. I think like 5 or 10 ped. Then I went to the Motorhead garden, picked up a shitload of kegs. It was like raked in about, I don't know, 5 ped from that or so. And I'm like, how can I top all this great free profits on Rocktropia? Is I'll go to the fucking technician and picked up, what was it? The blueprints. Ah, here it is. In attachments. And I picked up the level 1 or the level 2. Can't remember which. I think it was level 2. Yeah, so I bought the level 2. I'm like, this thing has a really high markup, but that's just because people are like paying for ones that have already been maxed out, so they buy it with like a high quality rating. But I'm like, just for the fun of it, I'm going to take one, buy it, put it on auction, put no buyout, and put a 200 ped buyout, and laugh as I left the planet. So I did that, and like maybe 5-10 minutes through the flight, as I'm flying back to Calypso, the blueprint sold. So someone bought the fucking trade terminal blueprint from me for 200 ped in the auction. I was like, what the fuck, right? Like, I did not expect that to be the big fucking profit run from my run to Rocktropia. That was ridiculous. I kind of felt bad for that. I'm like, holy shit, man. Someone just went and paid fucking, what, $20 US to buy the fucking print that you could get for free in the trade terminal. It's like, so that's, it's not a nice thing to do, but I'm just going to show you, like, there's a lot of creative ways you can make ped in fucking Entropia. Like, how long would you have to sweat to collect that kind, right? No, after I did that, I actually felt so bad. I'm like, shit. That was, well, I think one of the days that I stopped. I'm like, I'm not going to sell trade terminal blueprints anymore. That's kind of mean. That was like so, that actually made me feel bad. I was like, fuck. Can't believe someone paid 200 for it. Jeez. Now, I was actually kind of just doing it as a joke. I'm like, there's no way someone's going to pay 200. It kind of scares me. Like, how much higher could I have put that price and someone would have still bought it? Alright, see if I got everything. Got the mankinis. Wearing a mankini. No, I shouldn't have. I won't renege on my deal. If everyone gets my channel up to 1,000 subs, I'll get my character. I want to specify the character in the game to wear the mankini. I have to specify because previously I asked for people to share boobs. I got a lot of man boob pictures, so I won't lie. I was like, women's boobs. No, I'm never going to do that again. Sorry, guys. I don't know, being locked down for so many months wasn't really agreeing with me. I swear I blame the lockdown. I would have never done that without... Can you tell when I'm lying? Alright, stop laughing. Alright, so today's episode will finish where I'm flying and leaving for... Let's say I'm going to Rocktropia. Hopefully I don't get crushed by pirates on the way. If that McJack or whatever guy is in space, I'm not carrying any loot. I'll show you. I'll prove it. No, sometimes McJack or Jack, I can't remember his name, he will shoot me down. But he's a nice guy about it. I think he was even the pirate that gave me a ride when I got shot down and I forgot my repair tool. So... yeah, my buddy Beamer, before he passed, he used to always talk about how he was doing dog fights with the McJack guy, saying that he liked to get chased by him. It reminded him of the days of being in the war. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say too. I really appreciate all you guys. No, I was getting a little bit upset and fucking didn't want to play Entropia because I miss Beamer so much, and every time I logged into the game it was really making me depressed because I'm like, I kept seeing something new in the game and I wanted to share it with Beamer and I'm like, oh fuck, I forgot he's dead, I can't share it with him. But yeah, having you guys around now, it's like I'm making these videos and I'm able to share it with you, and I'm like, it doesn't bother me as much now because I'm like, at least now I have someone I can share shit again with. No, so I really appreciate you guys. You're helping me out a lot, getting me back into my love of Entropia. And yeah, it's fun making YouTube videos, and I've always dreamed about making it to 1,000 subs one day. And I keep inching closer and closer, 600. And I think I owe it all thanks to the gaming community. Well, and the paranormal community too. You guys helped me get to at least 400 subs. So yeah, I'm going to keep trying to do paranormal and gaming videos. Hopefully going to be doing some vlogging soon. And what else? Oh yeah, and then I got all the links below. All the different ways you guys can make money from watching videos or playing video games. Tons of links. Even links for buying shit and making money. On referrals and cash back. I would check them all out if I were you. And yeah, for the insects or bugs today, maybe we'll do ladybugs. If a ladybug happens to fly by your vaporizer and take a dump in it, you're vaporizing ladybird dumps, and it tastes like shit, literally, then give the video a dislike. But if not, I really appreciate it if you can like and share and all that jazz too. Alright, have a good one you guys, and hopefully I'll be doing another video tomorrow at the same time. Alright, until then, catch you later. Never buy the products from our sponsor. It'll ruin your life!